So I'm still kind of figuring out exactly what I want to do here, because, like I said, so I'm at this this party, right? Hey, I can like swivel my webcam, right? There's nothing. Yeah, there's no secrets anywhere plastered on the walls. So here, I mean, I can just show you guys. Like I'm at this like, so this is the BTS studio. This is the setup where you saw everything. There's Conrad there. So I'm at this. There's Yoel. There's some nerds over there. So we're over here at this party, and they're all like in the stream setup. I guess they're taking a break now. I'm trying to decide exactly what I want to do here. Here's the situation. We're getting into kind of our first organic game. Oh, we just queued into Dane. Yo, I just queued into Dane. Yeah, you wanna come here and just gangbang him? Yo, thanks for the sub, Charlie. 141.
Thank you for the sub. Good sub.
Let me know if the music is still like too loud or anything. This is pretty jank. Right?
How did he queue so fast? I literally just beat him.
He's a fast queuer. Okay, so we're going to do this here. You wanna get on? All right, there.
Wait, let me use this.
Oh, you wanna go on? Oh, okay. Here we go. Oh, that works.
All right, what's in your deck?
Bunch of jank. So
that's what I said about my deck, and it worked out.
The way Artifact works, I wanna try to keep this like educational. Yeah, for like new players. So this is the flop. We're gonna kind of breeze through the basics, but we are going to explain them. Basically, the game has kind of a randomized start, and it sends the game going in a different. So we take the grazing shot here, right? Every time. You do that every time.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
So grazing shot is.
What's that?
Right. We're just gonna. We're gonna whisper. We're gonna whisper.
That's a good start. Enchantress dying turn 1 is always it feels good because she creeps alive forever. You have Venno and Prelix alive?
Yeah, dude. This is nuts. So Venno and Prelix are two cards that are weak, but if they stay alive, they give huge value every turn because they summon units. Left to right every time. This has to be a left.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Okay, so after this game, I'll have to like switch computers. I'll like restart my stream or something.
Yeah. Alright, is this the turn to 4 mana into 3 mana?
It might be. So we've got a few options here. Yeah. So in Artifact, the main strategy is to basically look at your options and actually kind of plan out your turn in advance. You can only play hero cards of corresponding hero colors, so we can play blue or black in this lane, we can play blue in this lane, and we can play black in this lane. So, we could Tyler Stay Sensor left, but if we do so, then we're kind of committing to hipfire right. That's a decent deal. So this Tyler Stay Sensor looks pretty good. We don't mind hipfiring this creep.
Mm-hmm.
So Tyler Stay Sensor here is good. And you have to play it across from an open position here. Dude, I gotta say, man, it's really difficult to be like educational when we have to be in ASMR mode like this.
Yeah. Whispering for so long is kind of weird.
Yeah. It makes us very awkward.
That duel really hurt, actually.
Yeah,
it shuts down a lot of options.
The pain and suffering of losing my child or suing the crap
Do you think it's too early to play Ignite?
I think it's too early to play Foresight, so I think I'd like to play the Ignite here. Probably on the right side. I'm fine with Ignite, right?
I think wherever you play it is pretty good, honestly, except for the first thing.
Yeah, you could play it here, you could play it right. I think it's a little better right, because our melee creep here is dying, and this melee creep here isn't.
Yeah, and there's going to be more melee creeps anyway. Your middle lane is going to be flooded.
So if you guys have like questions, I have chat pulled up at this point. This is a very, very jank. So he passed. If we put him on Viper Strike, we could take the hip fire first.
You do have a healing staff too. So.
Yeah. But if we put him on Viper Strike, so we take the hip fire first. Normally this is what you play last because it gives you initiative and you usually want initiative. But we have a hand that doesn't care about initiative, and by hip firing first, he might take the Viper Strike on the Debbie, trying to kill her with it, and then we salve and kind of make him waste it. There's a fairly good chance that happens here, because Viper Strike is something he would have floated with this hand state. He's got a 6-card hand that he took a pass on, so there's a good chance we bait out the Viper Strike here. And now we healing salve. So this is a kind of part of the strategy you do in Artifacts. You have to kind of infer what they have in their hands, and we made him waste this Viper Strike because of that.
How do you feel about Viper?
Hero blows.
I cannot stand that hero.
In what way?
Like, Viper Strike is so weak. Viper Strike is so weak, but it's like, at the same time,
15 seconds remaining.
Change it without making it too powerful.
Yeah, that's true.
Like 3 damage might be too much.
So we don't need the Magic King Maul here.
What up, everyone?
This is Eosin, if you guys don't know that.
This is the Dane slaying stream right here.
Yeah, dude. I'm kidding. So now we have to put our Ogre down. The choice is pretty much left or right at this point, because we don't want to stack blue-colored heroes.
15 seconds remaining.
It could really go in either here, I'm thinking. Left
I would probably put it left.
Yeah.
The right side
probably
is...
puts Darkseer left, because Darkseer wants to go left.
Yeah.
And we've got to do something about this Prelix dying mid. We've got the Traveler's Cloak to try to keep her alive.
Ooh, a barracks.
A tactician must always be protected.
Thanks for the sub, Slither Puff. What are you doing over here? We have no accident if we want. This is Riley's signature. It deals 3 damage to a unit.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
I think, like, in a situation like this, I would actually not play it.
Moist. Yeah.
I would play barracks instead. Just because it's kind of unlikely your Necro dies here. And then if you manage to keep initiative...
15 seconds remaining.
Yeah, initiative is not guaranteed.
Killing him next turn is a lot more valuable than killing him now.
Barracks is probably best to mid.
What say you deal with this?
I'm okay with that.
And then before she dies, or if she even dies, I'll just foresight.
There is also the consideration to float the mana in this case as well. Basically, like, take a pass. One of the strategies you can do in Artifact, and this is actually the test of a good player in a lot of situations, but one of the strategies in Artifact is, like, when you think they're going to play a card, you take the pass. It's a risky play, because if they pass back, then you just locked yourself out of an option, because when both players pass, it goes to the next round. But if they play something, then you get to play reactively, which is good for the same reason as it is in Gwent, because you can react to what they're doing. Just take the preemptive cloak, right?
Yeah, I think it's preemptive cloak.
I done this with great
Obviously, it's like really situational.
Yeah.
Sometimes...
if Dane plays his item first, we can clone it with the end 1 for me, which is pretty good.
Oh no, they lost the game.
Oh, they lost.
I'll make it a little safer.
So he's got Verdant Refuge.
I didn't even see what their deck had.
Yeah, I didn't either. So I guess we just foresight here.
I think we foresight.
Unless we're sure he's going to play his item, which we're not. So our Prelix is staying alive. This is everything we want to happen. And there's the Ignite coming in there. It's pretty great value so far. I'm happy with how this game is going. I mean, I could be happier, but we're kind of staying in it. So no accident kills the Viper.
No accident does kill the Viper. He does have 1 item.
Yep. But, I mean, we still, I think, use it, right?
Yeah. We have 2 of them, so.
Yeah, so this creep is hitting it for 2. It's going down to 4. No accident sets it to 1. And then the Ignite next turn will kill it.
Which is the best way to kill it.
Yes. People call this an upkeep kill. When you kill something during, like, an upkeep effect, it basically kills it for, like, an extra turn. So we took the TP out, which, I mean, that's kind of fine. We forced the TP.
It's really nice. You gave us initiative.
Yep. Initiative is going to really matter here for the other no accident.
No more.
Take the cloak over the TP, right?
Yeah,
I mean, TP is kind of useful on Prelix, though.
I think
maybe TP is actually better. Cloak is useful on Debbie.
Cloak saves Debbie.
We have better ogre.
Yeah, I think the cloak was still better.
Yeah.
You keep her alive, and then it makes your steam cannon. You know, you can either use.
So this is actually a tricky deployment. So there's a lot of things to consider with this deployment, right? We don't really want to put it right because we're probably overcommitting at that point. Venomancer wants to go where there's a lot of like combat. We're going to open with no accident left on the Beastmaster here with initiative.
15
so we have to
seconds
take that into
remaining.
consideration. I think we go mid, right?
Yeah, I think this is fine. I think you just let.
The thing is, it's a little overcommitted left because we're killing the Beastmaster and he's got Darkseer as well. So this is just a chance we're overcommitting heroes left, and Venomancer is basically a very defensive hero. You want to put him on the lane that you're losing because his Plague Wards kind of allow you to come back from a lost lane, and they're very bad at pushing the lanes that are already won. So we can take the initiative, no accident here. This is a large part of the strategy in Artifact. You like play for initiative, which allows you to go first and lock them out of options. Basically, he had the option of playing red cards, and he no longer can because we won first and locked him out. Real quick, how many of you guys in chat want me to like kind of be super basic about Artifact? I'm curious, like how many of you guys like know the fundamentals of the game, and how many of you guys are just like completely lost right now?
I'll take any advantage.
And they do damage, and I don't know, slow mechanic and back too.
Be as basic as possible. Okay.
How do you?
So I'm gonna try to.
Just that noise that came out of your mouth.
That's a pretty good duel.
Where do you want this Agnum Sanctum?
I just want a Sanctum in place here, I think, because if this item goes on a hero, I want to be able to try to use it and one for me this turn.
Okay, I see.
And this is also a lane that we're kind of fighting for as well. So if he plays his item, you can watch the opponent's hand. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 normal cards, and you can see this card has a slightly different colored border here. This is an item, and you can also see like how much gold he spent on it. So at this point he's not playing yet, and there's no reason to refresh or anything. We just let our Prelix die. We can't play the cloak on it because it already has the cloak in the cloak slot, so it does nothing. But we're still doing pretty well. If you want like a general idea of kind of how a game is going so far, you just have to look at like who's winning 2 out of 3 boards. And right now that's us. We're winning left and right pretty hard. And mid, well, it's kind of like in a potentially scary position, is not too far gone. I think we can open with Cloak first.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna play a creep, kill you with Viper Strike next turn.
Yep. Oh. So we could have played Heartstopper first if we were afraid of that. That's an interesting move, though. It's not something you typically expect. Okay.
He just protected him.
These are fairly good items. Items in Artifact, you just want them to be like cheap health items for the most part. There's obviously going to be a lot of exceptions to that, but like cheap health items are like the core essence of your item deck typically. And so like just being able to keep our stuff alive, like we'll use Salve on this Devi, keeping her alive forever. And we've hit the Steam Cannon turn as well. This is like a very powerful late game tool that we're going to be able to tap into here.
Ooh, Satyr Magician.
No one can outsmart me.
Got him.
And Debbie's in a tricky spot. Even if I don't think you want to heal. I think you have to let Debbie die here.
Yep, I think so as well. So we don't know what's in his deck, although you know a little bit. You just played him.
I just
Does he have? He can't really punish Satyr Magician with green anyway, right? It's kind of nothing.
I didn't see any bellows either.
Okay, so we can just open with Satyr Magician, right?
15 seconds remaining.
Although, keep in mind, maybe he does have one. You can't see every card.
So Satyr Magician has the active that allows you to refresh your tower's mana. So we can play it first, and then we can also play Steam Cannon later. In addition, we can even play Relentless Zombie, which we probably want to do here.
Maybe Zombie refresh Steam.
Yeah, that's the idea. So we're just gonna play it on the right side.
Question is, what do you play after? Maybe. No, I think you Steam.
Yeah.
Behold my beloved.
Satyr Duelist on the right side. So he's at this point kind of giving up left and trying to defend right. Keep in mind we need to take 2 towers, and he needs to take 2. We've kind of taken left, and he's kind of taken mid. So right is kind of the most important lane right now. But luckily we've got Steam Cannon, which allows us to play for any lane. This is going to be a very powerful Steam Cannon. Yep, this is nuts.
And by shenanigans,
It's also really good
I
that Debbie
mean
dies here,
Yep,
because
it is.
we only have 2 black heroes. And without any TP, you don't want them stranded in the same lane.
Do you plan on being more of a competitive player on Artifact? Yes. So for the steam cannon, this card is very powerful because you can use it on any lane. So every turn we can deal 4 damage. Do we just open it by hitting the Viper? Viper is probably the best thing to hit, right? There's a consideration to hit the Satyr Duelist. But killing the Viper and locking him out of green on that lane is going to be more powerful. Especially on the 8-mana turn, which is the Thunderhide turn. Thunderhide pack is a very powerful common 8-mana card. So right now, what we can do is we can use Healing Salve on our Debbie to boost her to 9, and she's only taken 8 this turn. But we can't do that because Viper Strike ends up killing her on the upkeep, and that's actually going to be even worse for us, basically, is the way of looking at that. We can take a Preemptive Cloak on our Necrophos if we're worried about him being able to kind of do 2 damage out of nowhere. I don't think I'm worried about that, though, with his deck. He doesn't really have any, like, black or... Yeah. Oh, yeah, 4, because Necrophos is passive triggers. Okay, so after this game, after we, give it to Dane, I'm going to go ahead and relaunch my stream from a computer that we can actually, like, talk instead of ASMRing.
I'll do my part.
Oh yeah? So we could salve this creep if we really wanted to. Salving creeps is actually kind of underrated, but here there's just not really a reason to do it.
Not like this turn.
Feels good.
Yep.
Ignite.
If we want to, we can use the second steam cannon one on the Satyr Duelist to kill it as well.
Yeah.
Since he healed his Viper.
Alright, let me give you a basic economics lesson. Right? Gold now better than gold later. So that's why you put it in the middle.
Okay, pushing the knowledge is pretty good here. Okay, so
Conrad, this is why the credit card industry is so successful in America.
in Artifact, one of the skills of Artifact is basically identifying like the fight lane. Basically, usually how Artifact goes is like one player will win one lane, we're winning left, one player will win another lane, he's winning mid, and then the third lane is kind of where both players end up fighting for. This looks like the deployment for me. Although this can change, right? Like sometimes you can have a situation where someone will kind of like, the fight lane will just shift every single turn potentially. But right seems to be just kind of the lane that the game will hinge on at this point. And
His roar could be very lucky.
in Artifacts, everybody has heroes that have 3 signatures each. And therefore you kind of have a lot of things to play around. So for example, when you see a Beastmaster, his signature card Primal Roar is very powerful, a 7-mana card that you want to play around after the 7-mana turn. So we're going to have to be very wary of this. Luckily for us, he's not faced with a combat target. This does require you to have a combat target to even work. So we can just try to be aware of that. So we're giving up initiative to use Steam Cannon anyway, so we can just push no knowledge here.
Ooh, very
Ignite's
nice.
not bad. So with Ignite, is it going to be that good here though?
I don't know. Maybe, because like he could always have Armed Rebellion for middle lane, and then
he
you
could.
like run the risk of dying to 80.
Yeah.
Maybe putting a defensive Ignite mid might not be bad.
Defensive Ignite mid is not bad. I could see it. It doesn't really do anything, right?
Yeah, it doesn't.
So let's go ahead and open with Foresight, since that's how we're going to crave out the Ignite, right?
Yeah.
And we can even refresh our State of Magician.
Ooh.
That's a good draw.
That changes things. I was gonna say I don't know what's in your deck, so
So 80 is no longer a threat at this point, so I just want to Ignite, right? Because we have the Annihilation.
My favorite part is when we lower everything.
So Annihilation is one of the strongest blue cards in the game. It just allows you to like Dark Hole one of the lanes. So we can Seder Magician here.
I have something
This is a very
special
powerful
in store.
effect because you can refresh your mana every single turn. And we can
for
Steam
more.
Cannon.
Gwen, can you explain the upkeep kill?
These guys.
yeah. So I think Seder still goes down.
Huh? Oh yeah, with the Steam Cannon?
Steam Cannon.
Yeah, when we Troll Soothsayer to curve it out, right?
Yeah.
This is probably just the best play. The fact that he's not going to be able to get Primal Roar is really bad for him. He probably has like two or so Primal Roars just stuck in his hand that he literally won't be able to use.
I'm ready to prove myself.
This is such a good setup right now.
Yep. So this is great. We're killing this tower, and now we just need to win the right lane.
Card draw is really important.
Yep. So Emissary, one of the strongest green cards in the game for the late game. Although,
So yeah, the scary thing is you do have Annihilation, but you have no way of getting there right now.
yeah,
So this is a huge problem.
we're gonna have one of these blue heroes die.
And I think Dane is a good enough player. He'll want to not touch any of your heroes.
15 seconds
Maybe.
remaining.
At this point, I like solving this creep.
I don't think you solve your keep because he's gonna Emissary and the dies in.
Oh yeah, with the Emissary.
None can oppose the quorum's will.
Race against the clock.
Yep. So right now his win condition is trying to deal 80 damage to our Ancient. That's behind this tower. That's the other way you can win an artifact. You either win 2 out of 3 lanes, or you just like punch the single lane for 120 total damage. If he kills this tower, we lose. Ancient.
I actually think. No, actually, never mind. Can't. This is rough.
Yeah, this is
Maybe
pretty rough.
Blade of the
Let's
Vigil,
open with Blade on Prelix.
then-
See what it costs.
He's gonna bore. I'm pretty
But
sure.
I'll do what I
Yeah,
can.
or it's just like the proactive play here.
So you can add for one.
Quick work of our enemies.
Why aren't these artifact heroes in Ghost?
This is kind of tricky. So we have been 1 for me. That's pretty much our only play option here. If we want to take one of the equipments, because we can use it on Viper to take Book of the Dead. We can use it on Beastmaster to take
15
Stonehall
seconds
Pike.
remaining.
None of these are very good though, right?
None of them really do anything.
No. We could have also used it on Prelix and had a 50-50 to take Blade of the Vigil.
Oh, I actually think that's really good.
So this is exactly what we wanted. We wanted Venomancer to die to not lose mid. So we can just pass here. So one of the most interesting things about strategy and artifact is like killing heroes isn't always good, right? This was a situation where killing our Venomancer kind of lost Dane the game, because when you kill a hero, you're kind of allowing it to reposition, and positioning things in the right spot is really, really valuable. This Venomancer is going to come back down in 2 turns, and we're going to annihilate mid with it, and that's going to stop us from losing the game mid. This also means that initiative in the middle lane 2 turns from now is going to be extremely valuable.
I think the main question now is like, do you push 80?
Yeah. So at this point, we can deal 80 extra damage left, or we can try to deal 18 right. But right's going to be kind of awkward, right? Just because we have to punch through these heroes.
It's a really tough spot.
I think we do have to go right.
I think we do.
Yeah.
It's a really tough call because like we have no idea what's in his deck. Like for all we know, he could have like Thunder Hide Alpha, and then if we don't put any hero there, it's an instant game over.
Yep. Deep Portal's a good draw.
That is a good draw. That's also a good draw.
Okay. So taking the Steam Cannon is bad. Does he run Rimouski Blessings?
I have not seen one.
Okay. So right now we can Steam Cannon the Beastmaster. This kills him because we have 2 Ignites on the lane as well. We can just open with that, right? There's not really a reason not to open with that.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So let's go
15
ahead and
seconds
cannon
remaining.
the Beastmaster to kill him. So you guys will see this kills him with both of the Ignites here. This game seems to have way less meme potential. Yeah, compared to Gwent. That's very true. Gwent has...
There's a lot of meme potential in this game.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. I think that it'll be a lot better when they add like more new cards, but there's like less potential for just like all-in deck concepts.
Are you a big fan of Trebuchet?
No.
So
I'm
They're
paging
like-
Hellbear.
Wait, do you have the hip fire?
You can take hip fire if you want.
Are you
I'm
scared?
thinking.
Not really.
So one of the most important things is our lose condition, which is not having initiative mid.
Oh, you're
I'm
right.
thinking I'm really rather keeping our Necrophos alive, and then when we keep the Necrophos alive, then maybe we can hit fire next turn for the initiative mid. Because keep in mind what's gonna happen. So it goes this turn, and then this turn, and then this turn, and then back to left, and then mid, and that's right at that 5 turns from now, where it goes back to the mid lane, and we're deploying the Venomancer. That's when we're going to need the initiative. So keeping the Necrophos alive allows us to, obviously, you know this, I'm explaining it to everyone else.
Anything smaller than 3.
And basically the fact that we're holding on to Hipfire now allows us to play cards, presumably like Heartstopper Aura, for this guy next turn. And that's going to be important because right's a lane we want to fight for. So Darkseer is sending Creep there. Oh, he sent it mid. Ooh, very ballsy. Does he have lethal on us mid? There's no way, right?
I think it's only possible if he has Thunder.
I mean, there's nothing we can do about it at this point anyway, so... Oh well.
Oh wow.
I don't think we can really fight for a left at this point.
I think you better late than never. Yeah.
Probably mid, right?
Yeah. Whatever it takes to slow it down.
I mean, do we think it's even
15
possible for him to
seconds
take
remaining.
this?
I think so. It's like this is the most likely way you're going to lose. Come on, multicast.
That's a nice
Oh,
multicast.
multicast.
I'll play the next one right. We don't need 2 mid. There's no way we need 2 mid.
The way I see it is like there's not much reason to play it right anyways.
Really?
Yeah.
Right's our win condition right now. We need this 18.
Okay. All right.
Like the one mid is nice if we're worried about him and just having a god hand and taking us out. I feel good about this right lane though. And I think there's no reason to use Dimensional Portal here. I'd really rather save it for
I think you
right.
save it. Yeah.
Yep. Are we worried about Necrophos taking 2 damage from something random? Nope, he doesn't really have anything like that. So we can just... Yeah, it's red-green, exactly. And this is the weakness of red-green. They're 2 just very proactive colors.
The arrow doesn't actually matter because the Beastmaster is going to die and then
Yeah.
it faces forward again.
Yeah, I remember that. Kajor. Thanks for the sub. Okay. This is a pretty good Demagicking Maul.
Well, 50-50. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yep. So Demagicking Maul cleans up an improvement. Would have been really nice if it killed their Sanctum instead of our Barracks. Because Barracks was giving us a lot of per turn value.
about you. You're just a spoke on the
So, good thing to note. Doesn't have Thunderhide.
Yep.
You didn't give me
So I think we're in a really strong position.
Yeah, this position just looks good. So at this point, we're going to Heartstopper from right. We're going to hit fire from left to take back initiative. We're going to nuke mid really hard. Red-green has a really hard time playing for initiative. He might have that one card. There's the Beastmaster dying that we called it like a few turns ago just because the board state made that inevitable. We can go ahead and open with Heartstopper Aura here.
Or change between Riley and Debbie. You're just confused with the name.
Okay, so that's why I was so confused.
This is just Necrophos' signature card.
We have an
So,
item.
yeah. At the same time, I mean, we should just pass now, right?
Yeah.
So this is a weird salve. I actually don't understand the salve at all.
Maybe he has a second one.
1 minute until
It would need to be a
forced
second
surrender.
salve, exactly. So his Viper is now dying to our upkeep because
1 minute
it
until
will
forced
go
surrender.
down to 2 health, and then it's going to take 2 damage from our Ignites and then 2 damage from our
That was-
Heartstopper Aura.
that was
So this
very
Viper is dead anyway.
Oh, perfect.
That's a good draw. Okay, so we've got initiative here. Is it technically better to put both mid?
I was thinking about that too, but I think if you think about it, he has no red.
He could have like
Green.
enough magic. The only reason to put both mid is if we want to use Steam Cannon and hit fire on this. So hit fire first, give up initiative, and then hope he doesn't have enough magic, but that just loses the game, right?
I think it's.
It's gotta be Prelix, right?
I think so.
Yes, this just looks better.
Because you want
Yeah, we want to win the game
you
here.
want to just win the game.
Yep.
I mean, the nice thing too is like it helps because like the steam cannon doesn't really do anything.
Yep, exactly.
So we
Pass
have
for-
initiative. We
yeah.
just pass. If for some reason he does something,
Yeah, and he can't take initiative with green. Green is the only color in the game that doesn't have a take initiative card.
Don't worry, we have a plan.
we are good.
So we just pass here, yeah. Okay. So it doesn't look like there's a lose condition here. We have initiative. Even if he had some bizarre way to take it with hipfire, he couldn't use it. Let's find our Venomancer here. And this is why blue is a good color.
Feels good. If I were him, I actually might just leave it like,
Yeah. I mean, from his perspective, like, we don't necessarily have lethal.
yeah.
And we don't have initiative, so we might as well use a potion here. Of course, we can't play anything because we have no heroes.
But the game's over.
Yep, and the game is over. We do have lethal. This is button means we win the game. Okay. Great.
So beat the couch. We beat you.
Yeah, that's a pretty good like. It's a good way to show off like some of the strategies in Artifact. Like in that game, we basically went over like initiative mattering, the ability to play reactively by taking like a risky pass, and just like deployment in general. There's a ton of strategy going on in this game.